Hi Gemini, and welcome to your August 2023 reading. I'm excited you're here with me. We are gonna look at general energies in the beginning of the reading. Second part of the reading is a relationship situation or dynamic. This can be any relationship, doesn't have to be romantic, but of course I'm focusing on romantic relationships. This is for all Gemini placements or also for people who are just drawn to the title of the video. So if this resonates with you, then take what can be helpful or motivational, inspirational, and leave the rest here. All right. Just checking if my microphone is on. Yeah, it should be. It should be on. Let's see, Gemini, what is happening for you at this time. Ooh, the Ace of Swords in the reverse. Well, that's a weird card for Gemini to come out here because, of course, Gemini is an air sign, is also connected to the Swords energy here in the tarot. With the Ace of Swords in the reverse, we do have maybe a sense of confusion, or maybe there is a little bit of fog around your mind right now. Maybe it's hard to have a clear idea, to have a clear perspective on things, or maybe find the right idea to move forward into a new sort of strategy. Maybe also communication might be a little on hold for you at this time. Maybe you might not want to share everything. Maybe you're holding things back. It's not necessarily a bad thing. This is all the Ace of Swords in the reverse. It seems like there is some information that you are holding that you're not giving out. That's what I see here very strongly. So you might have information, but you might not have all the facts yet. Maybe that's why you're not having this moment of inspiration, of truth, that might initiate a new way forward with the Ace. This is weird. Like intuitively, I look at the card and I feel like you have information, but you're holding it back because you're waiting for the right moment. All right. Let's see. Let's see the context of this. Ten of Cups in the reverse. It could be about figuring out a family situation or a long-term happiness situation involving more people. This is the Ten of Cups in the reverse. There might be a time for you where it's hard to really figure out what is causing this lack of fulfillment. Maybe for you. Maybe you're trying to understand better what causes you to not really get what you want emotionally, to not really create that happiness for yourself, or maybe you're still trying to figure out why it didn't happen for you in a certain situation. The Ten of Cups in the reverse doesn't have to be only love and relationships. It can also be just how do you create your life on an emotional level with your surroundings, with your friends, with your closest people. And why is it kind of hard these days? I think it could be really coming down to communication with the Ace of Swords in the reverse. Maybe there is a non-transparency of some kind from your side. Maybe you're also having a hard time communicating what you actually need from people. This is, of course, hard. Sometimes we're like just people pleasing and we're having a hard time to ask. This could be the case, or it's just not very clear to you really what you need at this time from other people and from the people surrounding you. Interesting. Let's see. Let's see how this is evolving. Four of Cups. That's very interesting. The Four of Cups is really a card of overindulgence in a way emotionally, and therefore it's like a sort of pleasure that doesn't really feel super satisfying. So we might be a little bored, uninspired. We might be in a stable place when it comes to our emotions. We're not like going all over the place because the Four of Cups is a card of stability with the Four. But at the same time, it's a type of pleasure that is not exciting in a way, or that might be a little uninspired, a little bored, a little held back. You might be also turned inward a lot. So this is a card of really figuring out your emotional life right now. And I think drawing back on what feels safe and what feels secure for yourself with the Four of Cups, and therefore maybe not really accepting things that are coming towards you, and going within, finding that, I want to say, compromised pleasure also. So compromised feeling of being okay. And yeah, that's, I mean, for a Gemini, I can imagine it's maybe a little boring at this time for you. So let's see what subconsciously is going on here, and deeper, on a deeper level. Because that's the reality line for me. That's what's really showing up in your everyday life. It seems like you just don't want to share also with people. Don't want to communicate too much. Five of Wands, Five of Cups, okay. The Hermit, Ten of Swords is on the bottom of the deck. Subconsciously, there's definitely something going on. There has been some, I think, conflict. Maybe you have been fighting for a place of happiness, of fulfillment, maybe even family luck, family happiness, happiness long-term in a relationship, and it's just not happening, and therefore there is some sense of disappointment right now, and you're done communicating, you're done trying to figure this out. I see what's happening, because this sense of holding back or not being open, not being forward, not being transparent is just a result of some sort of disappointment here emotionally, I think. That some things didn't work out the way you wanted them to work out. Maybe with the Ten of Swords, you know, it's like it's really like a breakup. It could also be a job or a situation that you thought could be very fulfilling for you, and there's close people that you can build also an emotional bond with long term. And there is some sense of disappointment with that. I'm sorry, Gemini, that's annoying and sad, and it's okay, you know, it's okay if this resonates for you. It's okay to let go, and also to draw back, and also remind yourself that you can really be self-sufficient when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to your strength, when it comes to being inspired. And the deeper you look within yourself, even if you might feel quite uninspired right now, there's a lot of potential. The Hermit is speaking of potential. The Hermit is speaking of creativity. The Hermit is speaking of also going for things step by step, one step at a time. The Hermit is super productive also in his being, and of course he's very wise. He is also a Virgo card, and he's all about routine, doing things slowly but surely, gaining results, and really putting his energy and his resources into himself and into the things that are satisfactory to him. He does not need outside sources to give him guidance. He does not need me to give him guidance. He does not need outside sources to make him feel productive, for sure. And of course he has a lot of a big treasure of knowledge with him, because he's come so far. So okay, know that you can always fall back onto yourself. I think this is the title of the reading. Know that you can always fall back onto yourself, and that there is a lot of potential in here, and I think a lot of creative potential. I think this being bored is often a lot of creative people. There is this talk from, I think, John Cleese from the Monty Pythons, where he talks about boredom and how important that is for creative type people, to really give yourself that space to just be uninspired and to just be bored, you know. So ideas can come in, can float in, can come towards you, and you're not chasing them so much. So I think this is really you just isolating a little bit to really be ready to have this idea, to have this brilliance in your mind, to have this genius that is very much a Gemini thing and characteristic. So What's your higher self saying to this whole situation? Yeah, I have to breathe. It seems like breathing, I mean, breathing is always important. It's not, you know, it's not a thing that we can stop doing, but it's also a thing when I think of breathing, something we're doing by ourselves. There's nothing, you're not aware of it most of the time, so that's why it's so important to become aware of your breathing. 5 of Cups, yeah, it has to do with this pain that is stored here. King of Swords. I think you're trying to rationalize the pain a little bit, which would be very much a Gemini thing, of course. Your higher self is trying to find a strategy to how to move forward. The King of Swords is you. It's an air sign. It's air energy, swords energy. And the King of Swords is, of course, trying to logically understand the situation, even though I don't think you have this creative, impulsive idea quite yet. But you're trying to really keep calm and cool-minded, and you're trying to really rationalize, I think, the situation, which, you know, it's okay to feel this disappointment. I promise you, if you just step right into it and allow yourself to feel it without first thing going to your mind and trying to figure out what happened or how to analyze the situation, it will be over faster than you think. You will be back in a grounded place faster than you think in your subconscious. This is a little emotional hiccup. I don't see a tragic, like, lingering pain here. Knight of Wands. Okay. Context. The Fool. Beautiful. 10 of Pentacles. Look at that. There's bigger and better, I see. With the 10 of Pentacles, there is the full picture forming in front of you. And I think the more you tap into your own creativity, the more you open yourself up for ideas, for creative ideas, that's the Fool, the more you tap into your imagination, the more you will see what is possible to build and to have, and that it is very realistic. The 10 of Pentacles is very realistic. This is the whole picture. The 10 of Cups is just a part of the picture. The Pentacles really does combine everything. The Pentacles combine all the elements. So it is the result of everything that you want to manifest. And if you are trying also to finish up a project, now is the time. You can totally build what you're trying to build. And it might have to do with the past because we're in the Venus retrograde, and Venus is all about also the beautiful things, art, music. So maybe you're working on a creative project or on an artistic project or on a musical project. So now is the time really, because even though you might not feel like you have this brilliant idea just yet, you can always work with your feelings, emotions, and especially your pain. You know how many people need help with releasing their pain, and they want to hear some or see some stuff that helps them, you know, trigger. So if that's something you want to put into a project or writing, I see strongly writing, it can be, you know, it doesn't have to be, let's talk about creative projects. It doesn't have to be necessarily the truth. It can be fictional. You can use your pain to create something fictional that is artificial, that is just part of you, that you're using to make something more distanced from yourself. And you can release, maybe it can help you release some stuff, I would say. This is what's coming up. With a Fool, you have super creative energy here. Allow the boredom to help you step back into a very open, minded and creative phase, and to help you allow yourself to step back into your imagination and your fantasy world. It's fine to, because you have the King of Swords here, it's not irrational what you're doing. The Knight of Wands brings a lot of power. I think you're really trying to get over it, and you want to get over it. Especially in this deck, the Knight of Wands for me is like a get over it card. Get over, also maybe the idea that happiness is not possible for you, by the way. I know that's a tough one. That's advanced. That's advanced psychology. But yeah, I see a lot of potential with the Hermit, a lot of creativity with the Foolish Man, the Fool. The Four of Cups still, as I said, you are in a safe space when it comes to your emotional stability. Don't worry. And it's okay to let the inspiration come towards you. Don't try to chase it, I think, is also the message. Don't try to chase an inspirational moment. It's going to come to you. Okay, let's see how the relationship situation wants to play out here. This other person, I'm doing a you and the other person situation. There was a two, okay. There is a Tower and the Two of Swords. I wanted to put them back. You saw that that didn't happen. It fell on the Ten of Pentacles. I don't know. I need more context. I really don't fully see what the cards want to tell me. Maybe that's also your feeling. You don't really see what life wants to tell you right now. You don't understand what's happening really. Maybe there's a moment for you where you're like, oh, what I thought I wanted is not what I want anymore. Maybe. My stomach is growling, I'm sorry. I hope you're not hearing it. Well, there is a sudden, I think something happened, I think this is in the past, that was quite unexpected. And now you're like trying to recalibrate and find a sort of a sense of balance again after a Tower moment, to really understand better what you want from, I think, a certain connection. And I think you are quite distanced right now. It doesn't have to be physically, but mentally. Four of Swords in the reverse. This person is not giving themselves a break and also not giving you a break, therefore, I think. They're also very confused. Four of Swords in the reverse is not having a lot of clarity, but also not giving this whole thing a break. So that's a problem, you know. Sometimes you're just like rehashing stuff over and over and over again. And we do that with the Venus retrograde. We do that with the Venus retrograde. And there is a Mercury retrograde coming in by the end of the month, by the way. So fun times. Four of Coins, they're holding on. They're holding on to their security, to their sense of security, but they're also not having a clear idea of what's happening here. There is distance. There's definitely distance. Oh, the devil. The devil is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I think it's quite unhealthy how they're maybe having problems to give freely. Maybe they are, you know, very fixated on what they have, and they're maybe clinging to resources and not really giving away very, very easily, very freely. Knight of Cups in the reverse. And that makes you, I mean, that triggers you emotionally, of course, because the devil is triggering, that's just what happens, you know. The devil, you can be the most stable person, you know, a year-long therapist, you can be the most established specialist. If you have feelings and if you're a normal person and a decent person, devil tactics and toxic stuff will just trigger you and get you out of balance. It's just what happens. So don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Eight of Wands. There's communication though. There's communication happening. But this person has to kind of work through some stuff before that. Because there is a way forward. There is movement forward. They probably will be communicating towards you with the Eight of Wands. Be careful though. The Devil, you know. Yeah, Page of Swords. Maybe you, yeah, so I don't think you are gonna take the first step. And you might not have all the information or not see everything just yet, and that's also with the Ace of Swords, and you might be holding back information, communication, which is smart. Don't engage too much, because when the Devil is here, we don't want to engage too much. We want to maybe more observe what's happening. Three of Cups in the reverse. Well, yeah. This is, for this month, enough. We're not going to go deeper into it. Three of Cups in the reverse. There is a sense that there is really hardly any chance to have a light moment here with this person. Maybe it's always difficult, exhausting, toxic, just challenging, and there's not much fun in this whole connection. With the Three of Cups, all the tarot readers, and this is, I think, the last time I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to mention it again anymore, are talking about third parties, you know, like there's another person. I don't know, and it doesn't have to be, and it's really not the point of the card. The point of the card is that you're having a good time with and a light-hearted time with friendly people, and that you are also in a love connection, able to have a friendly connection and also be the person's friend and have fun hanging out, and just like hang out and have a good time and not hang out and always have like difficult times, and have some lightheartedness and have some emotional freedom and feel free. When this is in the reverse, you're either hanging out with people who are downers, who are Debbie Downers, or are straight up toxic, or are just like not in their happy place. Or the connection is a combination of people who have a hard time bonding on this like lighter level. So that's happening here in August. Just not vibing, you know, you're just not vibing here. Let's see how we can creatively approach the situation with the Art Oracles deck. I'm trying really to get better or more back into the English language, because I'm not a native English speaker, as you might have noticed. And I haven't done so many English readings lately, so I can tell that sometimes my words don't come out the way I want them to, so sorry for that. Georgia O'Keeffe, we love her. She's the queen of everything. She's the highest selling female painter. Like, she is the GOAT. And besides from her being the GOAT, she, when it comes to selling, she also is a brilliant painter, of course. She says, nature can keep a secret. Ooh, yeah. And that's, I think, also what you're doing. You're not opening up here with something. I love that. Nature can keep a secret. Keep Freud guessing. Ooh, this is deep. This is deep. You don't give away, you don't have to give away stuff. The devil is here. Don't give away information to the devil. Not saying that Freud was the devil, but maybe a little bit, because he was a drug addict. And I know, because I come from the city of Vienna, where he was practicing. So there's a lot of cocaine here still going around. Anyway, if I'm talking German now, maybe, yeah, the devil can be drugs. The devil can be toxic substances. So if that person is engaging in that, could be, then stay away. You can't run away from yourself, but running away from others can be quite productive. I love that so much. It seems like this Knight of Wands is running away, but flight forward, you know, it's not like an escape. It's more like, no, I'm just gonna go get far away from this, because this is too distracting. Oh, this is such a good card. I knew she had some lines. Georgia O'Keeffe got lines. Man, no, she's like everything she did is just brilliant. It's like so brilliant. So yeah, and also paintings are immensely beautiful. Maybe you find something that inspires her when you look her up. Maybe this could be quite inspiring at this time to look up some paintings. Okay, let's see what the charms have to say. All right. Still, my stomach is growling. Maybe you're hungry for this connection, maybe in a physical sense, and also it seems like there is a good physical connection that is maybe also based a little bit on oxytocin. Hug me, like the binding hormone. It's not so sexual. It's maybe more like caring connection, and that can bind us a lot. Like oxytocin is much more binding to a person than sexual hormone, and we release a lot of oxytocin also during sex, especially women, and that's quite binding you to a person, so be aware. That's what you might be feeling. This person, I think, is a little more detached than you, and they are able to detach themselves better than you. They are drained, Four of Swords, and the battery on the with face down. They are drained. They have no energy right now. You might not be aware of this, but they're completely drained by this. I mean, this is draining. If you're trying to keep this up, it's super draining. You know, like toxic people. I know so many toxic people who are just like chronically tired because they're just up to some shenanigans all the time, you know, and then they, of course, it's exhausting. You have to handle all these different situations. It's not easy. Why choose such a life? I don't know. An ex-boyfriend of mine who was in a lot of senses very wise, he said, why would I have, I don't know how they do it with the second and third wives. I mean, maybe that was I don't think he was the guy who was lying so badly, but you know, you never know. But he was like, how do people do it with the second and family? It's like so stressful. It's much too stressful. I can't. He was a big pothead too, so yeah. Anyway, this is what's happening here. I feel like they have a lot to hold. They need to kind of, I think, hold their thing together here with the Four of Coins, the little stability that they built here for themselves. They're still focusing on this connection, even though I think they know this is maybe quite complicated. They're very loosely attached. I tell you, if you're wondering like, oh, is this person, like, they're very loosely attached to you. They're not, you know, strong. There's not a strong attachment energy towards you. They are I want to say protected in a sense. Maybe they're protecting themselves and not giving too much away also, as I said before, of information as well. They're resting. They're resting. And they might go to some quite unhealthy coping mechanisms for their exhaustion. Could be. There's a lot of empathy and feminine caring type of energy here, I think, from both sides. But you know, there's also like a black spot here that is kind of giving a little toxic energy, or that needs to be looked at. I think you're trying to gain a clear perception and also have clear communication. Maybe they're also in a friend group that you're in, that you're very attached to. Could be you're attached to this person definitely more. Maybe you share a lot of memories here. Elephant. Well, yeah, nature is a thing for sure with this fossil part. Old knowledge, you will find very ancient knowledge if you go into nature. There's a lot of magic and learning when you go into nature. It's interesting that on this card there's a fossil, and then there is this fossil charm. It's part of a fossil actually, and it looks like gold. I really love this one. I think this connection had really inspired you on a creative level, and also to really fully be yourself and to show yourself fully. I think that's what you really got out of this connection. And there was a lot of spiritual, maybe sharing of ideas. Maybe you clicked with the person on a spiritual level. I can totally see that. Still, I would not expect too much from this person right now. They are drained and they are not in their best. They are not at their best selves. They might have to struggle with some stuff that you don't know anything about. That is really maybe addiction type stuff. So I would not really, me personally, just saying, if that's your deal and you want to help a person and that's what you want to spend your resources and time and energy on, then, of course, that's a great and noble thing. But I feel like they have to figure something out alone, or it's even a side that you don't necessarily see or saw so far. Yeah, okay. I want to maybe pull one more. I want to pull one of those cards as an overall message. You're the first sign that gets this card, and there's only the Cancer reading left, so you're special. Oh, look at that. I knew that something needed to come through for you. Focus on your own happiness. Focus on your own well-being. There is a lot of happiness for you this month if you focus on yourself and if you focus on creating that happiness, because we have a lot of power to create our own happiness, by the way. It's sometimes not easy. Sometimes we are stuck in a situation where we don't see how much power we have to create our own happiness, where we lose the power to create our own happiness, and that's all okay. Don't be hard on yourself. King of Cups in the reverse. Or Knight of Cups in reverse, I'm sorry. Also don't be hard on yourself. I said King before. It's a Knight, which means you're not communicating your feelings to this person, which is probably a good thing. So yeah, focus on your own happiness is what I'm seeing here. Thank you so much, Gemini, for being here. Please, please, please like, subscribe, comment, and come back to this channel. And I'm very pleased and happy to have been able to do this reading for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.